If there's one thing I know about watch collectors, it's that we're always on the hunt for the perfect dive watch. The thing is, when you're looking for a dive watch, it's easy to get lost in a sea of sterile black dial divers. I went through this exact issue a couple of months back. I was lusting over the Seiko SPB 453 for what seems like ages, and as soon as I got it into the collection, I just couldn't connect with it. It felt a bit too sterile and bland, and I'm just gonna say it, boring. And this is the case with a lot of black dial divers out there. They're just lacking a bit of flair and personality. But the two watches I have today feel like the complete opposite. This brand released two vintage inspired skin divers that are easily the most fun black dial divers I've experienced in a long time. But as much as I love them, there is one annoying part about them that almost ruined the whole experience for me. But we'll get to that a bit later in the video. This is the Phorcydes PH4 series. Phorcydes has been making some noise lately for having basically what is the best Lume in the game. And spoiler alert, these two new models take it to a whole new level. The new PH series is a vintage skin diver platform that comes in two flavors. You have the PH4A, which is based off a vintage glass shooter CQ, and the PH4B, which is inspired by a vintage Douglas skin diver. I'll focus mostly on the 4B today, but I'll highlight a few differences that may help you decide which one is for you. Size-wise, these watches sit in that classic dive watch sweet spot. 40mm case, 48mm lug-to-lug, and 13mm thick. These dimensions mean they're going to fit in most people's wrist perfectly. It is a bit thicker than I'd like, but it's not something that's too noticeable, especially for a watch of this style. Now, the cases look almost identical at first glance, but if you look closer, you'll find that it's actually different. The PH4A features hard lines and really sharp edges on the bottom of the case and the lugs. You can actually feel that bite when you're handling it. The PH4B, though, adds polished bevels running down the lugs and even on the underside of the case. It doesn't just look more refined, it makes the watch feel way more comfortable to handle. Then we have the crown. The 4B is what they call a destro, meaning the crown is on the left side of the case. I'm not going to lie, I spent the first couple of days wearing this watch upside down because my brain is so wired to seeing the crown on the right side of the case. But after 1 or 2 days, you kind of get the hang of it, and it's not just a quirky design choice, it actually keeps the crown from digging into your arm, and it also protects the crown from knocks during a dive. The bezel is a 120 click unidirectional setup. It's got a great grip and zero backplay, but it doesn't quite pass my fidget spinner test. The clicks feel a bit thin, so I don't find myself mindlessly rotating the bezel as much as I'd like. It's a tactile thing, but it's worth noting if you like a chunkier click. The bezel insert is ceramic, and both watches have slightly different markings to tie in with the specific dial designs. Sitting on top of the watch is a gorgeous box sapphire crystal. It gives the watch that vintage acrylic crystal vibe with the added scratch resistance of sapphire. The clarity is incredible, the distortions around the edges are so fun to look at, and the clear AR handles reflections beautifully. Honestly, I wasn't expecting to see such a good crystal on a watch at this price point. Moving on to the dial. Both of these watches have a matte black backdrop. I really appreciate how they went with a subtle choice of light gray for the printing on the dial. It's there when you need to see it, but it disappears into the background when you don't. So it makes the dial look much cleaner, and I wish more brands would do the same. I'm personally more of a fan of the 4B dial. That 369 layout feels less cluttered, and the orange minute and seconds hand add a nice pop of color. Now, don't get me wrong, the 4A looks cool as well, but I think the hour hand looks a bit too undersized for me, and it throws off the whole balance of the dial. And speaking about indices, these are by far the most attention grabbing feature of this watch. They're made of solid blocks of hyperglow lume, and Phorcydes used tons of it here to create this chunky 3D look. When the lights go out, these things glow like a supernova, and I mean, it's crazy. They're so potent you barely even need to charge them. And seeing this light show with the different colors every time you walk into the room will make you smile. Trust me on that. It's just pure fun. If you're a Lume junkie, you'll probably want to go with the 4A because even the bezel is fully loomed on that version, so you get a bit more Lume for the buck. Now, a quick note on the movement. These actually launched with the Seiko NH35, but because of the recent price hikes and shortages of that movement, Phorcydes switched over to the Seagull ST2130 sometime in mid April. I can't speak to the latest batch personally because I have the NH35 versions, but since the Seagull is based on the ETA 2824, you're actually getting a smoother second-hand sweep and a bit tighter accuracy compared to the Seiko NH35. So despite the reasons for the switch, I'd actually consider that an upgrade. Okay, and now we finally get to that one annoying thing I was talking about at the start of this video, and that's the bracelet. The bracelet itself looks great and it's quite solidly built. They even give us a mill clasp and an on the fly adjustment, which is incredibly convenient to use. But I really wish they put their logo on the clasp. It's completely blank and it's probably the only part of this whole watch that feels a bit sterile. The real annoying thing about this bracelet though isn't that, it's the screws. These are the lowest quality screws I've ever had the misfortune of handling in a watch. I stripped most of them just by taking them out of the link and I couldn't get most of them back in. Now, resizing a bracelet with screws usually takes me 5 minutes, but because of all the problems I was having with this, it took me close to 1 hour and a lot of frustration to resize the bracelet. Of course, you'll only have to deal with that the first time when you get this watch, but it was such a frustrating experience. And if you don't want to go through that, I'd suggest getting this watch on one of the other strap options instead. And speaking of options, you're quite spoiled for choice here. You have a bunch of strap options, you can choose the dial layout, lume color, and even the type of bezels you want. On top of that, it seems that they've even released the PH4C version now, and that puts the A dial in the B case. So I guess that's something for everyone if you're into this watch. And depending on the configuration you go with, these can run you between $159 to $229. And for that price range, I really like what Phorcydes has brought to the table. It's a perfect blend of vintage character, modern specs, and a special sprig of personality. But I want to hear from you. Do you like what Phorcydes has done here? And do you usually like your divers to be a bit more serious or to have a little flair of fun personality? And if you had to choose between one of these dials, would you go with the A or would you go with the B? Let me know in the comments. And if you're still here, YouTube thinks you'll probably like this video over here. Thanks for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll catch you in the next one.